guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we're doing Fall.
I think I know it. I think I actually know this one.
I happen to know you like this song.
I do?
I think you like the beat and the vocals that are not Eminem. I don't know how you feel about Eminem's part, but I know I play this and you're like, oh, I like this song.
Okay. I think I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, so this was a single. This is track 10 off of Kamikaze. There's a music video for it, and it just continues with the theme of the whole album of going after critics by name. So
by name.
yes, so more of that, which is nice.
Okay.
All right. And once again, we are sponsored by Manscaped. I got the Performance Package 4.0, which comes with a lot of great stuff, including the Lawnmower 4.0. And as I say in every video, my favorite part is that light, so you could actually see what you're doing when you're trimming. It also has a ceramic blade, which helps reduce nicks and ingrown hairs. It is waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. Very convenient. The Performance Package also comes with the attachments for the lawnmower. You will also get a separate ear and nose hair trimmer, and you will get the Crop Reviver and Crop Preserver, also known as ball deodorant and ball toner. And you get a travel case to carry everything in, and the boxer briefs. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. It's worth it. It's the best grooming stuff I've ever used. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code WITHSMITH at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code WITHSMITH. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that's my turn now.
You're up.
The link is in the description below for that. We are also sponsored by Carnivore Snacks, which is one of my favorite meat snacks ever. This is the lamb sliders. As I always say, this is my favorite one. It's only 2 ingredients. It's grass-fed lamb and Redmond real salt. And it's really, really, really delicious and one of my favorite snacks to have in general. And it's kind of like eating a meat potato chip, which sounds really strange. I say that all the time, but it's so good. And you can use our coupon code WITHSMITH for 15% off your order, and the link's in the description below for that. You can also use the same coupon code for Chomps, which is one of my favorite beef jerkies ever and one of my favorite meat snacks. It's super soft and moist and really delicious, and they're only either grass-fed or free-range, depending on the type of meat. They have a bunch of different flavors. I really like the venison one. They're minimal ingredients, only ingredients you can pronounce, minimal calories, and you can use our coupon code WITHSMITH for 10% off your order and an additional 10% off subscriptions. And we are also sponsored by SeatGeek, which is my favorite website to buy concert tickets or sporting event tickets or any kind of ticket that you're in the market for. It's really great. We used them before we were sponsored by them. We've used everything except for Manscaped before we were sponsored by them. And we love the experience. You can use the same coupon code WITHSMITH for $20 off your very first purchase, and the link is in the description below. You can also check out the Amazon storefront, which is in the description below. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media channels if you want to. And that's it from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Fall.
You know, everybody's been telling me what they think about me for the last few months. Maybe it's time I tell them what I think about them. Concentrate against the clock I race. Got no time to waste, I'm already late. I got a marathoner's pace. Went from addict to a workaholic. Word to Dr. Dre and that first marijuana tape. Guess I got a chronic case. And I ain't just blowing smoke, less it's in your mama's face. I know this time Paul and Dre, they won't tell me what not to say. And know me and my party days have all pretty much parted ways. You swear to God I forgot him, the God it made not afraid. One last time for Charlemagne. If my response is late, it's just how long it takes to hit my fucking radar. I'm so far away. These rappers are like Hunger Games. 1 minute they're mocking Jay, next minute they get their style from Migos, so they copy Drake. Maybe I just don't know when to turn around and walk away. But all the hate, I call it walk on Watergate. I've had as much as I can tolerate. I'm sick and tired of waiting. I done lost my patience. I can take all of you motherfuckers on it once. You want it shady? You got it. Got it. Yeah.
Don't follow my faith. Don't follow my faith.
Line 'em up.
Don't follow my faith. Don't follow my faith.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear, but I do know this song.
Yeah. So at the very first line you hear him say is photo shoot, and then you hear him doing ad libs like line him up. It carries over from the song before, where the last line he says like line him up and take my pic, like a photo shoot. Remember that line we discussed? It was the last line in Kamikaze. Yeah, just line them up and take my pic, like a photo booth or photo shoot. So you know what I mean? Like he picks them, but also like picked for a picture.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
listening to the album, it bleeds right in. You hear him start by in this song saying photo shoot. So
That's so funny.
yeah. So there is this alternates between Eminem and I guess the sample or the other guy singing. Justin Vernon is who's the one singing vocals. So Eminem comes in. He says everybody's been telling me what they think about me for the last few months. He says maybe it's time I tell them what I think about them. And then while that's going on, you hear the Justin Vernon. So I actually don't exactly understand what it means.
Not really.
So
I don't either, really.
he said it's too loud, right?
The music.
So I don't know. It could be like the gossip, like the shit talking. But then he says it's too loud. Can't hear it coming down the hallway stairs from the parking lot. So it's too loud. Can't hear it coming from the hallway stairs from the parking lot. And then it's too loud. Three's not a crowd. All up in it. Slow fire.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So I don't know if
I don't get it.
I don't know if he was referring to like the critics. You know what I mean? Like can't hear it. There's so much bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? I think maybe that.
Okay.
And then you hear, which is part of the chorus, don't fall on my face. Don't fall on my faith. Oh, don't fall on my fate. So he changes it. It's three different things that they
That's
say.
pretty
I
cool.
remember the first time I heard it, I was trying to figure out what was being said.
It sounds like he's saying faithful, but he says faithful.
Yeah, so faith, face, and fate. Don't fall on my faith. All right. Then Eminem comes in, first verse. He says, gotta concentrate. Against the clock I race. Got no time to waste. I'm already late. I got a marathoner's pace. Went from an addict to a workaholic, word to Dr. Dre. In that first marijuana tape, guess I got a chronic case.
Okay. So he's already late. He's got to keep like moving faster, going faster. He's saying he's like a workaholic now, like rapping all the time. And then marijuana tape, chronic case, marijuana chronic. But then like a tape goes in a case.
Yes. So a few things. So he says gotta concentrate against the clock I race. I'm already late. So I think he's referring to he's late in his career. He's like a veteran of rap, right?
Okay.
And he's in the later stages of his career, right? So he's against the clock because, he's like 50, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I only have so much time left in my life. And then he says I have a marathoner's pace, so he's steady and
Going
he's in
fast.
it for the long run though. So marathoners aren't necessarily fast; they
He's
pace
just keep
themselves.
going. He
Yes,
keeps
he's got
going.
the longevity.
Okay.
And then yes, went from an addict to a workaholic. So drug addict to addicted to work. And he says word to Dr. Dre in that first marijuana tape. So Dr. Dre's first album was The Chronic. So then we hear, guess I got a chronic case. So it's a play on a chronic case of workaholicism.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Dre, obviously, the chronic, all that shit, marijuana tape. And he says, and I ain't just blowing smoke, tying back to the chronic. Less it's in your mama's face. I know this time Paul and Dre, they won't tell me what not to say. So, I mean, it's self-explanatory. I mean, he's not just blowing smoke, meaning he's not like just talking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Less it's in your mama's face. And then Paul and Dre, I guess, a warning. We heard that in other songs on this album where they're like, wait, don't say that. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like, okay, they're
Mhm.
letting him off his leash. They're letting him say what he wants to say.
Exactly.
And this song in particular, he got a lot of backlash for, which we will get to. There's one specific line. And then he says, and although me and my party days have all pretty much parted ways, you'd swear to God, I forgot I'm the guy that made Not Afraid.
Mhm.
So he's saying, like, okay, I'm done doing drugs and stuff. Like, I turned my life around and, I changed. I'm positive. But the way I'm feeling now and the way I'm going after people, I'm not doing the drugs, but I'm vicious. Do you know what I mean? So, like, the old Slim is back.
It's
Just,
so funny because I don't know if you guys watched Jersey Shore Family Vacation, but we were catching up on season 5,
yeah.
and like it literally last night's episode was like Mike the situation, like acting like the old situation and causing drama.
Oh, yeah. And he's
And
in
like that's like
recovery
all
too.
they're talking yeah, and that's like all they're talking about is how like Mike's like just being the old him again and like just
He-
starting shit,
yeah.
causing problems.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
exactly what you're referring to is what he's talking about. He's like, okay, I'm not doing drugs anymore, but I'm also not the positive, not afraid guy right now in this moment
Yeah.
because my behavior is going after people. So that's funny.
His sponsor is probably not very happy.
Yes. And then so he continues. He says, one last time for Charlemagne. If my response is late, it's just how long it takes to hit my fucking radar. I'm so far away. So Charlemagne the God, was shitting on Eminem for a revival.
He's like on Hot 97 or
Power
whatever.
105, the other
Oh,
rap
I
station
don't
in New
I don't
York.
know.
Yeah, so he hosts the Breakfast Club. And yeah, so he was critiquing, revival and stuff. This is the second time on this album he's mentioned him by name.
Okay.
And Eminem's saying, "Oh yeah, so I'm responding so much longer after you said what you said, but I'm just so far removed from everything. It takes this long for it to get to me," which is so funny.
Yeah. Or he just have been like, I'm way too busy.
Yeah. And then he says,
Got
"These,
more going on than you do.
yeah." I mean, Charlemagne's got like 1,000 jobs. He has a podcast with Andrew Schultz. He does a lot, so it's wild. But yes, anyway, he says these rappers are like Hunger Games. One minute they're mocking Jay, next minute they get their style from Migos or they copy Drake.
So Mockingjay, I saw the first Hunger Games like shortly after it came out. I don't remember what Mockingjay is. I think that's
That's the
one of
name
the
of it.
Hunger Games movies, but I forgot what it's like the symbol of
So
the Hunger Games or whatever.
yeah, I always tell you that I've never seen them. I want to watch them. I heard they were good,
Yeah.
but I do know Mockingjay was the name of one of the books or the movies, or maybe both.
Yeah. But it's also like the symbol is like a bird, I believe. It's a
Like a mockingbird.
yeah.
So yes, it's obviously a play on the Hunger Games
But then
title
it's Jay-Z.
copying Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's saying other artists are copying Jay-Z and then they're stealing their style from Migos and then they're copying Drake. So,
Yeah.
nobody is original.
No.
They're biting everybody else's shit. Then he says, "Maybe I just don't know when to turn around and walk away, but all the hate, I call it walk on Watergate." So that's funny.
So if you don't know what Watergate is, it was Nixon.
Yeah,
It
Nixon.
was Nixon. I confuse Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan all the time. I get them confused. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So Nixon, they like tapped. They got record. He
They
would
broke
record
in.
all of his phone calls, right?
So that came out later. The Watergate in particular, he
Were the
didn't. So they
documents.
broke into the DNC, the Democratic headquarters. They broke into the Watergate hotel where that DNC was. So he didn't even know what happened. But what happened was when he found out about it, he covered it up, and that's where the phrase "the cover up is worse than the crime" comes from.
But we found that out because of his recorded phone calls, right?
So no, it got out, and then when the recorded phone calls came out, there was all the other stuff that came in. But yes, in the
But it was
they
related to Watergate, right?
yes,
The
yes, yes,
recorded phone
yeah, because
calls.
they all got subpoenaed, so they
Why the
listened.
hell would you record every phone call you ever
So he
made
didn't even.
in the White House?
Lyndon Johnson installed that thing.
Oh, he didn't know about it?
No, I think he did because he turned it on, but I
Well,
don't think
then,
Lyndon Johnson even used it. It's bizarre.
well, why was he talking about, like,
I don't know. He recorded everything
why
for
did he
some
do
reason.
that?
Yeah, you could hear funny tapes of him saying like wild, like
Yeah,
racist and
they
homophobic
were
shit.
really
Yeah.
crazy things.
So anyway, that was the Watergate scandal. Nixon got impeached and then resigned from the presidency from. So Eminem is doing a play on that. He's saying, okay, he doesn't know when, he just doesn't know when to walk away, but he's
Mhm.
getting all the hate from Walk on Water with Beyonce. So he calls it
Yeah.
Walk on Watergate.
Well, they call anything like a gate now, like
Yeah,
Pizzagate.
yeah,
If you want to go down that rabbit hole, we can talk about that.
yeah.
Not right now, though.
Then he continues. He said, I've had as much as I can tolerate. I'm sick and tired of waiting. I done lost my patience. I can take all of you motherfuckers on at once. You wanted Shady, you got him, which is fucking awesome. So
And
he's saying,
self-explanatory for the most part.
yeah, I'm fed up. I tried to do a nice thing on Revival by, a little more positive, a little more culturally aware and give my real feelings, and people didn't like it. So fuck it. I'm going back to the old Shady and I'm coming after everybody.
I like that.
Yeah, I think everybody does. And he's saying he's taking them all on at once. So that's cool. And then we get into the chorus, which we already went through. So we will pick it up here.
Somebody tell Button before I snap, he better fasten it. Or have his body bag and zip. The closest thing he's had to hits is smacking bitches. And don't make me have to give it back to academics. Say this shit is trash again. I'll have you twisted like you had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. Even when I'm getting brain, you'll never catch me with a thought. Lacking with it, he ain't spitting like this on his last shit. Oh, you better go back and listen, you know me better. Thinking I'll slow a let up, call it trap. Cause it's a total setup, hoping that you rappers fall in that. Dre said, hold your head up. Kathy Griffin stacking ammunition, slap the clip and cock it back on competition. This is how I shot ahead. Gabby Gifford, my attack is vicious. Jack the Ripper back in business. Tyler, create nothing. I see why you called yourself a bitch. It's not just cause you lack attention, it's because you worship the 12 balls. You're sacrilegious. If you're gonna critique me, you better at least be as good or better. Get all the hood is wetter, whatever his name is, to help you put together some words. More than just 2 letters. The fans waited for this moment, like that feature when I stole the show. Sorry if I took forever. Yeah.
Don't follow my faith. Don't follow my faith.
Line 'em up.
Don't follow my faith. Don't follow my faith.
Too easy.
Okay. Second verse, real quick. So that was the verse he got in trouble for. Even though the word was censored, on every version, the word's censored, which is odd. All right, we'll get to that though. So he comes in, second verse says, somebody tell Button before I snap, he better fasten it or have his body bag get zipped. The closest thing he's had to hits is smacking bitches.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden. So who is in Slaughterhouse, was signed to Shady. He was
Oh,
critiquing Revival, just like everybody else was.
and
He
he's
didn't
signed
like
to
it.
the record label?
Yeah, he was. So they're
What
not
are they
signed anymore.
thinking? Yeah.
But yes, he critiqued him. He's like, this shit's whack. I don't like this Eminem. So Joe Budden, obviously, he's a rapper. He has a podcast now. It's funny, the younger people, they only know him for podcasting now. But he was talking that shit. So Eminem is responding to it. So he does
Mhm.
this cool little scheme where he says, tell Budden before I snap. So he does snap. And then he says, better fasten it. And then body bag get zipped. So snap, fasten, zipped. He's doing all these
Like a
things.
closure scheme.
Yeah. So he's like, so fasten it, meaning like
Yeah, like shut
shut your
your mouth.
mouth, or have his body bag, it means he's going to kill him, right? And then he continues by saying the closest thing he's had to hits is smacking bitches. He actually
Because
does
he like beat someone, right? Like
yeah,
a
his
woman.
wife or whatever. You can hear it
Yeah.
add them. I believe he says "Pump It Up," which is his biggest song. This was his
Mm.
one like radio commercial hit. He's got a lot of really good music, but as far as like commercially successful, that was the biggest he got. So he's saying, yeah, he doesn't have hits. And then he says, and don't make me have to give it back to academics. Do you know who that is? He's like a YouTuber.
Oh, I think you've talked about him.
He does like podcasts and shows talking about rap stuff, and he works with I think like Complex now. So he discusses a lot of stuff. So he actually says, "Say the shit is trash again. I'll have you twisted like you had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. Even when I'm getting brain, you'll never catch me with a thought."
Like a thought. Like thought.
So what happened was there was a picture. So he was reporting on the story that, oh, Eminem's at the hotel with this chick and we got this images, and he's like, oh, sneaking around, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it was a picture from the video shoot for River with Ed Sheeran about the love triangle. So it was, it was like, it wasn't real. You
It
know
was
what I
like
mean?
acting basically because it's for a video.
Yes. So that's why he's saying, so he's like, okay, say it's trash again. I'll have you twisted. So he's going to beat him up. But he's
Yeah.
like, twisted, like you had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. So then he does a second thing where he says, even when I'm getting brain, you'll never catch me with a thought. So getting brain, like getting head, and then thought, like a hoe, but then
Like a thought.
thought,
Like
oh,
think.
THOUGHT. Yes. Nice play on that word there. Then he continues, um, lacking with it. He ain't spitting like this on his last shit. Ho, you better go back and listen. You know me better. So,
So basically saying he was spitting like this, you just
yeah,
missed it.
exactly. And then he says, thinking I'll slow or let up, call it trap, because it's a total setup, hoping that you rappers fall in that. Dre said, hold your head up. So,
So the trap and the setup, like that's a good one.
trap music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then hoping you're falling that trap.
Like a
Right.
mouse trap.
Yeah. And then Dre said, hold your head up. And then he does so. He's doing like kind of the modern type thing. Although this is Young Money even did this thing where they'll say a line and then they'll do another like word or phrase to like slam home, like it's going down, basement, like that thing.
Okay, yeah.
So he says, hold your head up. And then he says, Kathy Griffin. So I don't know if you remember, she
Was that
lost
the
her, yeah,
trap?
she lost her job because she took a picture holding up a fake severed head of Donald Trump, who was the president at the time.
Yeah.
So CNN, who didn't even like Donald Trump, fired her because it was like a threat to the president.
Yeah. I don't
So
like Kathy Griffin. I've
yeah, she's
always
annoying.
found her pretty insufferable.
Yeah, so he does the hold your head up, Kathy Griffin, and then he continues on this scheme where he says, stack an ammunition, slap the clip in, cock it back on competition. This is how I shot ahead. Gabby Giffords. So I don't know if you remember, she was a congresswoman that got shot in the head. She survived.
Was that at the baseball game
No,
thing? No,
no, she was.
it was different.
I forget if she was at a mall or something. She survived.
Jesus.
Yeah, she survived. So he does this cool play. So he's doing this gun scheme, right? And then he says, with all his ammunition, right, and cocking back at his competition, that's how he shot ahead. So that's how he got ahead of everybody by having so much rhymes and shit. But then shot a head. She got shot in the
Yeah.
head. It's a nice little scheme. And then he says, my attack is vicious. Jack the Ripper, back in business. Tyler, create nothing. I see why you call yourself a. So it's actually censored. He doesn't actually say the word. He said, faggot bitch. So apparently, Tyler, the creator, referred to him. I don't know if Tyler used that word himself. I think he did.
From
He
what I
says
remember,
stuff
I think he said that about
himself.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's saying, I see why you call yourself. It's not just cause you lack attention. It's because you worship D12's balls. You're sacrilegious. So it's a funny play.
Yeah, it's like sacrilegious. That means that you're not really religious, like you're fake religious,
Well, no,
right?
if it's sacrilegious, it's against it. It's like
Yeah.
the equivalent
Okay,
of like
yeah. Like
it's like
anti-religious.
blasphemy. Yeah.
But then sat would be like balls, testicle religious.
Yeah, so first he's saying, "Oh, you didn't just call yourself that. You did it because you don't have any attention. Your rap's not good, so you're trying to draw attention to yourself." And also, he's pointing out the fact that which is true before and after Tyler Creator was saying like "Walk on Water" was like he like tweeted something about it being like the worst song he's ever heard. And but even before that and after that, he says he does acknowledge that he loves Eminem's music, just not really his new stuff or whatever. So he says you worship D12's balls, meaning like he loved Eminem um and D12. And then the fact that you're shitting on them, it's sacrilegious. So yes, it's twofold. It's the sack going back to the gay.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense that you're shitting on me when
Yeah.
you love me.
It's going back to the gay thing because it's a ball sack, and then sacrilegious going the religious part with the worship part, obviously. And then he says, if you're going to critique me, you better be at least as good or better. Get Earl the Hooded Sweatshirt, or whatever his name is, to help you put together. Let me finish this. Some words, more than just two letters. So, do you know Earl Sweatshirt? Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, he's like friends with Tyler.
Yes. So, he's obviously implying he doesn't even really know his name because he calls him Earl the Hooded Sweater or whatever his name is. So, he's at least acknowledging that Earl Sweatshirt is better than Tyler because you know what I mean? He's like, you're going to need help from whoever this nobody is, right? To put some words together more than just two letters. So I believe he's referring to OF, which is a group called
Odd Future.
Yeah. So I believe that's what he's referring to. And then he says the fans waited for this moment, like that feature when I stole the show. Sorry if I took forever. I think this is the most brutal line on the whole fucking album, and people just act like, oh, whatever. So he's literally kind of taking shots at Drake, Kanye, and Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because that was originally a Drake and Lil Wayne song. I actually prefer the original version of that song. I say that all the time.
yeah.
I just like Lil Wayne's verse on the original.
So
Like the very original with just Drake and Lil Wayne.
yeah. So he's saying the fans waited for this moment, meaning the moment when he was going to go after everybody, and then he's saying they waited for this moment, like the feature when I stole the show, because Eminem was featured on Forever, and they sorry if I took forever. So play on sorry if I stole the show on the song Forever, but sorry that I
He
took
took
a
so
while
long.
to
Yeah.
do this.
Oh God.
Nice. All right. We're gonna finish this up now.
Don't follow my feet.
Just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. Make you running for you. Detractors, I'ma have to fuck pitchfork with a corkscrew. Just what the doctor ordered. Revenge is the best medicine. Increase the dose from least to most, and then tell the Grammys to go and fuck themselves. They suck the blood from all the biggest artists like some leeches, so they nominate them, get them there, get a name to MC to show. Every parasite needs a host. Then give album of the year to somebody that no one's ever even heard of. All I know is I wrote every single word of everything I ever murdered. Time to separate the sheep from goats. And I got no faith in your writers, I don't believe in ghosts. When rap needed it most, I was that wing in a prayer, a beak and a hope, put a B-I-R-D in the air. Somewhere some kid is bumping this while he lip syncs in the mirror. That's who I'm doing it for, the rest I don't really even care. But you would think I'm carrying an Oxford dictionary in my pocket. How I'm burying these artists on a scale that turns your minus minus various as hardly. And what's scary is you probably can compare me to your car, cause I'm just barely getting started. And far as Lord Jamar, you better leave me the hell alone, or I'll show you an Elvis clone. Walk up in this house you own, thrust my pelvic bone, use your telephone, then go fetch me the remote. Put my feet up and just make myself at home. I belong here, clown. Don't tell me about the culture. I inspired the Hobsons, the Logics, the Coles, the Sean's, the K-Dots, the 5 9s and O. Brought the world 50 Cent. You did squat, piss and moan, but I'm not gonna fall. Bitch. Yeah.
Can't hear it coming down the hallway stairs from a parking lot. It's so loud. Freeze down the crowd all up in it so fast.
Okay. Last verse. Yeah, again, I'm assuming that what it's too loud is all the bullshit.
Maybe like all the nonsense. Like all the nonsense about his music is so loud that his music's playing and he can't even hear it. I think.
And then
I don't know.
can't hear it coming from the hallway down the stairs. Like, I don't know. There's something I'm missing, I think. Okay, so he comes in third verse. It says, just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. Make your run in for you. Okay, so I've always had trouble with this specific line. I don't know what's being said. The second half of, so I get, just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. That part I get. But he said, but I'll be here after you make your run in for you.
Play it
You
again.
make your run in for you. It's not even a bar. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't know what the.
Just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. Make you running for you. Detractors, I'm
And I'll be here after you make your running for you.
after you. Make you running for you. Detractors, I'ma have to fuck pitchfork with a here after you. Make you running for you. Detract before you, and I'll be here after you. Make you running for you. Detract.
Okay, I have the lyrics here. I believe this is what it says there. Just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after you. Make your run in for you. So so the way I do hear it is just remember, I was here before you, and I'll be here after. Like, that's the end of the thought. And then it says, you make your run in for you. I don't know, like running into each other. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I can't figure that second half of that line out. It's very confusing. But whatever, we get what he's saying. He's seen so many people come and go. He was here before they got here, and their career is going to end, and he's still going to be around. Then he says, detractors, I might have to. Oh, wait, you make your run in for you, detractors. I don't know, whatever. Run in detractors. I don't know if there's something there.
Is that really what he's saying?
Yeah. Then he says, detractors, I might have to fuck pitchfork with a corkscrew. So pitchfork is
And the
is it a
forks.
magazine?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a website, magazine, Pitchfork. They talk about like music and stuff.
Okay.
They like shit on him, right? So he's doing a play on the pitchfork and then a corkscrew. They're two different sharp objects. So
Yeah.
he's gonna fuck pitchfork with a corkscrew.
Oh,
Then he continues, just what the doctor ordered. Revenge is the best medicine. Increase the dose from least to most, and then tell the Grammys to go and fuck themselves.
it's like self-explanatory.
So yeah, revenge, that's the best. So he's doing the doctor, medicine, dose, and then increase it from least to most.
I'm shocked he never did an album called Revenge.
Yeah. Okay, so back on the Grammy scheme, he says they suck the blood from all their biggest artists, like some leeches. So they nominate them, get them there, get a name to MC the show. Every parasite needs a host.
That's a good line.
It's a sick line. So yes, he does the blood sucking, right?
And then bring it into the leech.
Yes.
And then the parasite host.
Yes. So the play there is obviously a parasite needs a host, meaning the object that the parasite's feeding off of, and then the host of the Grammys. And the Grammys are the parasite. Then he says, then give album of the year to somebody that no one's ever even heard of.
Who is this in reference to?
I think it's just like a constant thing. They always did. The Oscars do that too. They give it to movies that nobody ever watched.
Oh,
They
yeah.
suck. They're the worst. All the award shows. Then he says, all I know is I wrote every single word of everything I ever murdered. Time to separate the sheep from goats. So that's like, that line is so much deeper than it sounds. So yeah, the album of the year we discussed. He murders everything, right? Everything he writes, he authored it. He doesn't get any help. And then time to separate the sheep from goats. So that's like a biblical line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the Bible. And then obviously he's saying everybody else is a sheep, meaning they just follow
Yeah.
everybody. And then he's a goat, but
Like the greatest of all time.
yes, it's a sick line. Then he says, and I got no faith in your writers. I don't believe in ghosts. Awesome line again.
So saying that you don't write your own stuff.
Exactly. He writes everything he ever murdered. You don't. When rap needed it most, I was that wing in a prayer, a beacon of hope, put a BIRD in the air.
Middle finger.
Yes. Somewhere some kid is bumping this while he lip syncs in the mirror.
It's funny.
So it's funny. So yeah, when rap needed it, I guess late 90s, he was that wing
Yeah.
in a prayer. That's another saying. So, they used him, right? And then he does the wing and then bird. So he's tying those together. And then there's a kid lip singing this song.
Like practicing to be a rapper.
Yes. And he says, that's who I'm doing it for. The rest, I don't really even care. But you would think I'm carrying an Oxford dictionary in my pocket. How I'm burying these artists on a scale of turn, you're minus. So it's funny. He's got a crazy vocabulary. I believe actually it might be on this song. Let me check this line. I believe I saw on Genius that, where's this line? Yes, here it is. According to a 2015 study, Eminem has the broadest vocabulary in the music industry
Wow.
with a whopping 8,818 unique words used throughout his catalog. That's 2015. That's before Revival, Kamikaze, and The Music to Be Murdered By.
Interesting.
So yeah, as of then, he has the
Yeah, he probably holds the
most unique
record still.
of any music artists.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So the Oxford Dictionary, and then how I'm burying these artists on a scale of turnt, you're minus.
Meaning you're not even on the scale.
Yes, you're
Below the scale.
exactly. And then he says, mine says very, yours says hardly. So he's very turnt, you're hardly turnt. And what's scary is you probably can compare me to your car because I'm just barely getting started. She's taking a shot at you probably have a car that sucks and doesn't start. And as far as Lord Jamar, you better leave me the hell alone. So I've mentioned Lord Jamar to you. He's from a group, Brand Nubian, and he was like older school hip hop. And he constantly, for his whole career, has been shitting on Eminem.
That's so
And then
random.
around this time, he specifically was saying Eminem's a guest in hip hop. He's white. He's not part of the culture. He's a vulture. All that. He doesn't rap about things that black people can relate to. Whatever. So
I think he might.
yeah, so he calls him Elvis, and
Elvis.
Eminem used that. You know what I mean? Because the critique is that Elvis appropriated black music. That whole thing. So Eminem takes this head on. He says, "Lord Jamar, leave me the hell alone, or I'll show you an Elvis clone. Walk up in this house you own, thrust my pelvic bone, use your telephone, and go fetch me the remote. Put my feet up and just make myself at home. I belong here, clown."
Mm-hmm.
So he introduces the Elvis thing.
And the pelvis, that's Elvis's thing.
Yes. And then walk up in this house you own, meaning like, oh, the hip hop, the home of hip hop. I'm a guest, so this is your house, right? Because you're black or whatever. And he says, I'm gonna make myself at home here, right? And then he says, I belong here, clown. And then he says, don't tell me about the culture. I inspired the Hobsons, the Logics, the Coles, the Shawns, the K Dots, the 5 9s, and brought the world 50 Cent. You did squat, piss and moan, but I'm not gonna fall, bitch.
Nice.
So yeah, it's like, don't tell me I'm not involved in the culture.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous thing to
I
say.
inspired all these people, right? And brought the world 50 Cent, and you didn't do anything. And then I'm not gonna fall, meaning I'm killing it still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, fall.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I only really remembered the chorus as usual,
Yeah.
but I like him going after people who were shitting on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Definitely good.
Yeah, this is like the best like peak Eminem going after the other rappers. Cause like, on his silly songs is where he like would go after like the easy targets, like the pop artist and like the boy bands and like that stuff's funny and stuff, but that's like easy. This is like awesome, and
Yeah.
his lyrics are so good. He raps, he really does. So he mentions it all the time. Like when the odds are stacked against him or when he's the underdog, that's when he performs his best. It really is true though.
Yeah, I agree. And he had a lot of great like one-liners, like double entendres in here.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, I love this song. It's
Yeah, it's good.
classic in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media channels. Check out Manscaped, SeatGeek, Chomps, Carnivore Snacks, Amazon Storefront, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.